8.
Welcome back to the show. Now, rescuers are rushing to try to free people who have remained trapped under the rubble since that massive earthquake in Morocco on Friday night. Sadly, there are reports that that survival window would be fading, and that comes as news is filtering through of remote mountain villages that still haven't received outside help at all. In many ways, the communications are only just coming through from those villages. So far, it's known that more than 2,100 people have died. We have nearly 2,500 injured, and it was the most powerful quake to hit the nation in more than 120 years. 300,000 people have been affected so far. Here in the UAE, the President Sheikh Mohammed has directed the opening of an air bridge to assist the relief effort. And my understanding is that aid is starting to come into the country, as well as seismologists, as well as experts, people who are experts at pulling people from the rubble. Joining me now from Marrakesh is Samir Bennis. He's a Moroccan political analyst, also co-founder of Morocco World News. Joining me on Teams. Thank you so much for your time, Samir. Tell me about your personal experience of the earthquake. You must have felt it as well.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I was actually in Fez on Friday nights when the earthquake struck. I was playing with my baby in the basement of our house when I heard my wife saying in Arabic, earthquake, an earthquake. I turned back and in kind of disbelief. I didn't realize what I was hearing. I couldn't believe actually that we had just gone through an earthquake. Immediately I looked up at the ceilings. I saw the chandeliers in our house were swinging very fast. And then I realized that we had actually gone through an earthquake. Immediately we rushed we rushed out of the house. We went to the garden. We all were in a state of panic and disbelief and anxiety. I grabbed my phone. I called my two brothers who live also in Fez to check on them and ask them if they had felt the same. And they told me that they also experienced the tremor and that people living in their respective buildings went out of the houses and they were in the open and were fearing for any potential aftershocks. And I called also my brother who lives in Rabat. He also told me that he felt the same and that people were all out in the open. And then I posted something on Facebook saying that we had just felt an earthquake in Fez. And the people started commenting that they felt the same across the country, in Casablanca, in Marrakesh, in Rabat, in Kenitra, in different cities. At that moment in time, I started realizing that we were experiencing a nationwide earthquake. But at that moment, since the quake we felt in Fez was not very powerful, our hope was that was the case across the country. It took us over 1 hour to start realizing that what we felt in Fez was not what other people felt in other areas, especially in Marrakesh and the remote villages that are near this city. And as pictures and video footages started circulating on social media with people screaming for help and with scenes of collapsed buildings, we started realizing that actually that was the epicenter of the earthquake, and that the consequences of this earthquake would be quite dramatic.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that news keeps on trickling through from those remote villages, for example, and the situation does seem particularly dire there. From what you understand, is help coming into the country?
Well, from what I understand, for what we have seen so far, the Moroccan government has decided to handle this on its own. And for that purpose, the king has instructed since the early hours of Saturday morning the Moroccan army to mobilize all its land and air assets, including aircraft, helicopters, drones, and other engineering equipment to come to the rescue of the people. The challenge, what is hampering the rescue operations, is that the epicenter of the earthquake is located in remote areas in the Atlas Mountains, known for having very sinuous roads and for having of not being well equipped in terms of infrastructure. In addition to the fact, what made the things worse is that the earthquake caused the rocks to fall off the cliffs of the mountains, making the roads even impassable. So far, the Moroccan government has accepted or called for the help of 4 countries, which are Spain, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and the United Kingdom. There are some people that's overseas who are questioning why the Moroccan government has not yet accepted the offer of help from different countries. I think, and what the Moroccan government has said is that it has conducted the first assessments, and there is a fear that if it accepts the help of different countries all at once, this could create gridlocks and confusion and hamper the coordination that is needed, especially during 48 hours after earthquake, when the rescue operations focus on pulling people from the rubble. The Moroccan government wants to conduct this in stages, and in this first stage, it is conducting this on its own, and it will then down the road, it will definitely require our call for the help of the international community, especially during the recovery stage, when the states will need to rebuild the whole areas that were affected by the earthquake, and then it will require billions and billions of dollars. And if there is any willingness from any countries to help the Moroccan government, then they will need to pump millions of dollars of money to help the Moroccan states cope with aftermaths of this tragic earthquake.
Yeah, of course, at the moment, it's all about saving people's lives. But from some of the pictures I've seen, some of the most historic areas of Morocco have been affected by this quake. And many of the buildings have either been brought down, historic mosques have either been brought down or severely damaged to the point where they could have to be demolished. Are there concerns for these ancient buildings, for the cultural history of Morocco?
Yes, actually, I am like any Moroccan. We are very attached to our history, and we know that these historic monuments in the ancient city of Marrakesh or Fez or different parts of Morocco, are parts of our identity. They represent our civilization, and it is so saddening, it is so troubling and distressing to see these monuments in the ancient city of Marrakesh, or, for example, a mosque in the village of Tinmel, where there was a mosque built by the founder of the Almohad dynasty in the year 1154. And we have seen pictures of this mosque, which has just been restored a couple of years ago, has been demolished and leveled to the ground. The same has happened with in the Medina of Marrakesh, which is a World Heritage Site, and where many ancient monuments have been severely damaged by the earthquake. And this is, for the Moroccans, it is so saddening in addition to the human losses we are deploring and which are really breaking our hearts. It is also even more saddening to see that our historical heritage has been severely damaged. And I think here, if the international community, if there is any willingness to help the Moroccan people and the Moroccan government cope with aftermath of this earthquake, there will be a need to provide substantial financial assistance to Morocco to cope with all aspects of the impacts of this earthquake, including the restoration of historical sites which are cherished not only by Moroccans, but by every person that cares about history.
Samir Bennis, journalist and political analyst in Fez in Morocco. Thank you so much for joining us on the line there to talk through the ramifications of that devastating earthquake in Morocco that took place late Friday night, early Saturday morning. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us here on the agenda on Dubai Eye 103.8. Coming up on the programme, we will be keeping our attention on that developing story, of course, in Morocco. But we're also going to discuss a new study that suggests, well, it links air pollution with the lower birth weights of babies. More on that in the next few minutes. First, though, Jennifer Crichton's here with the traffic.
Dubai Eye 103.8 traffic.
With Yas Island Abu Dhabi. Kids stay, play, dine and kart for free until the 30th of September. Book exclusively on yasisland.com.
It's looking pretty busy in Sharjah's industrial area right now, as we would expect, and very busy on both the E11 and the 311 heading south into Dubai from Sharjah. We've also got an accident just around the vegetable souk that is causing significant tailbacks on the 311 right now around the international city area, so avoid that if you can. The accident in front of Dubai Hills Mall has now cleared up, but those tailbacks are remaining, so allow extra time if you are on the Al Khail Road. Other than that, it's just the usual kind of areas you would expect, and the capital's looking fine and dandy. If you do spot anything, let us know on 4001 when it's safe to do so.
Dubai Eye 103.8 traffic.
Quick reminder of the programme that we do here on the agenda every single Friday. It is Eye on Education. And last week, we looked at two of those big parental commitments, namely the cost of uniforms and the demands of homework. We had plenty of discussion on both topics. I have to say, it was the cost of uniform that really picked up and got the most reaction on the text lines. We had an amazing person who joined us, Camilla, a mum of several children, who joined us to explain how she's managed to hack the school uniform situation. So that makes that podcast well worth listening on that alone. It'll save you money, I can tell you that. So do check out our website, DubaiEye1038.com, where you can find the Eye on Education podcast. And make sure you don't miss Friday's programme from 11 a.m.
Weather check.
With Air Arabia, fly direct from Sharjah to Bangkok for less.